Okay, hello everyone. Today we're going over chapter 2 of the nail book, the Milady nail book. Again, there's the nail book and then there's the foundations book. This one is going to be out of the nail book. We're going to follow along with the workbook, just the exam review questions, not the rest of the workbook. Okay, learning objectives for this one, chapter 2, general anatomy and physiology. Explain how anatomy and physiology relate to nail technology. Describe the basic structure and function of a cell. Describe the 4 types of tissue in the human body. Define the functions of the body's organs in the body systems. Identify the 5 functions of a skeletal system. Recognize the voluntary muscles involved in the nail service. Name the parts of the nervous system. Recognize how the circulatory system affects the skin of the hands and feet. Describe the primary functions of the lymphatic/immune system. Identify the glands that make up the endocrine system. Outline the organs in digestion. List the 5 organs that make up the excretory system. I'm gonna have trouble pronouncing some of these words, okay? Just so y'all know. Describe what occurs during inhalation and exhalation. Define the system. Define the reproductive system. I don't even know. Lots of times when I read, I just skip words. I just know the basic letters in there, and that's how I learn. Okay, explain how anatomy and physiology relate to the nail technology. Whether applying a new set of tips or performing a manicure or foot massage, licensed nail technicians are permitted to touch people as part of their profession. This is true of very few other occupations, and it is an honor to be able to aid others in achieving a greater sense of well-being. Nail technicians should have a thorough understanding of anatomy and physiology because all of this is important. Understanding how the human body functions as an integrated whole is a key component to understanding how a client's skin and nails may react to various treatments and services. You must be able to recognize the difference between what is considered normal and abnormal for the body in order to determine whether specific treatments and services are appropriate. This knowledge will help determine a scientific basis for the proper application of services and products. You will be responsible for performing safe and effective manicure and pedicure services, aided by your knowledge of hand and foot nerves, bones, and muscle structure. You will be able to perform manipulations involving the hands, forearms, feet, and lower legs safely and effectively as a result of your understanding of bones, muscles, nerves, and circulation. So each one of these, in each chapter, and I'll go over this in each chapter. I don't know how y'all are choosing to see these videos. Maybe you just want to see it for one chapter. But if you don't know, all of these learning objectives are titles in the book. Describe the basic structure of a cell. That's going to go into this basic structure of a cell. The ones before that are the ones are titled. Okay, so next learning objective. Define anatomy, physiology, and histology. As a nail professional, an overview of human anatomy and physiology will enable you to perform your services knowledgeably, effectively, and safely on a consistent basis. And now here are some key terms, some definitions, and these questions are going to be asked in the review questions in your workbook, which we will go back and forth with. I can already see this histology is a definition question, which is the first question. I like to write the questions right next to the answer in the book. What I don't have is that, and I don't have also right here noted in the answers where I found the answer, which I'm going to try to go through or I'm gonna go ahead and do that while we're going through this. Okay, as a nail professional, yes, I already read this. Anatomy is the study of the structures of the human body and the substances these structures are made of. It is the science of the interconnected detail of organisms or of their parts. Physiology is the study of the functions and activities performed by the body structures. Histology, also known as microscopic anatomy, is the study of the structure and composition of tissue. Okay, and the question reads like this. The study of the tiny structures found in the tissue is called B, histology. I'm going to see page 18, paragraph. I'm going to do paragraphs with the learning objective title. So that's 1, that's 2, paragraph 2. Like I said, I like to write the question in there, which I might do. I don't know. I don't want to do that right now. Okay. Describe the basic structure and function of a cell. Another key term, cells are the basic units of all living things, from bacteria to plants to animals to human beings. Without cells, life does not exist. As a basic functional unit, the cell is responsible for carrying on all life processes. There are trillions of cells in the human body, and they vary widely in size, shape, and purpose. Basic structure of the cell. The cells of all living things are composed of a substance called protoplasm. I love these when they break down the word because that helps me a lot. A colorless, jelly-like substance found inside cells in which food elements such as proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, mineral salts, and water are present. You can visualize the protoplasm of a cell as being similar to the white of a raw egg. In addition to protoplasms, most cells also include a nucleus, organelles, small organs, and the cell membrane. Okay, I see I've highlighted this word. So the question is, the cells of all living things are composed of a substance called, very simple question right there, protoplasm. Okay, that's page 19. And if that's paragraph 2, then that's paragraph 3, 4. Okay, the nucleus is the dense, active protoplasm found in the center of the cell. It plays an important part in cell reproduction and metabolism. You can visualize the nucleus as the yolk of a raw egg. Within the nucleus of the cell is the nucleoplasm, which is a fluid that contains proteins and a very important acid known as deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is what determines our genetic makeup, including the color of our eyes, skin, and hair. The cytoplasm is the part of the protoplasm that exists outside of the nucleus and inside the cell wall. The protoplasm surrounds the nucleus and is needed for growth, reproduction, and self-repair. Mitochondria take in nutrients, break them down, and create energy for the cell. Mitochondria work to keep the cell full of energy. The chemical energy used within the cells for metabolism is called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, ATP. Mitochondria are small organelles floating freely throughout the cell. Some cells have several thousand mitochondria, such as muscle cells, while others have none, like red blood cells. Muscle cells need a lot of energy, so they have many mitochondria. Neurons, or nerve cells, cells that transmit nerve impulses, don't need as many. The cell membrane is part of the cell that encloses the protoplasm and permits soluble substances to enter and leave. It is selectively permeable, controlling the introduction of beneficial substances into the cell and the removal of waste and other substances that do not benefit the life of the cell. The cell membrane protects the cell from its surroundings. It also communicates with other cells, linking like cells together to form tissue. Let's see if there's any questions. One in that one. I'm seeing some of these questions are mixed around, so I like to read them as I read. So we're talking about mitosis in the questions. We haven't got there yet. Conditions of a cell's growth, process of building larger, which type of tissues binds together, protorts, or haven't got into any of this. Okay. Pay really good attention to what your school's curriculum is, and I would have open communication with your instructor if the questions on y'all's test are going to be from the book or from their own syllabus, their own line of questions, because it could be different. That's why I have multiple things highlighted, because there's some questions from the book, some questions from the curriculum. It all depends. It's good to know all of it though. Okay, cell reproduction and division. Cells have the ability to reproduce, thus providing new cells for the growth and replacement of worn, damaged cells. The usual process of cell reproduction of human tissues occurs when the cell divides into two identical cells called daughter cells through a process known as mitosis. Okay, so that's question 3. Mitosis occurs when, and the answer is, two identical cells called daughter cells you had to kind of read back over here. The usual process of cell reproduction of human tissues occurs when the cell divides into two identical cells. Okay, so the answer here is one cell splits into two identical cells. And what paragraph is that? If that's 4, 5, that's paragraph 5, page 20. As long as conditions are favorable, the cell will grow and reproduce. This is true of human cells, plant cells, and single-cell creatures, such as bacteria. Favorable conditions include an adequate supply of food, oxygen, and water, suitable temperatures, and the ability to eliminate waste byproducts. If conditions become unfavorable, the cell will become impaired or may die. For instance, when blood flow is restricted to a part of the body, such as unfavorable condition could lead to an unusual buildup in the levels of toxins within the cells, which in turn may cause the cell to die. So, let's see. So I believe, oh, okay. So I should get my highlighter, but I'm gonna go ahead and underline this with pen. If conditions become unfavorable, the cell may become impaired or may die. So for instance, this is what makes conditions unfavorable. Blood flow is restricted, build up in the levels of toxins, and I don't know if it says anything about oxygen. And system blood flows are part of the body's unfavorable condition can lead to unusual buildups or cells and cause the cells to die. Okay, so we know what favorable conditions are. So favorable conditions include an adequate supply of food, oxygen, and water. So the question is, unfavorable conditions that will inhibit a cell's growth and reproduction include all but which of the following? So this, I hate when they do like opposite questions. So unfavorable conditions like restricted blood flow, buildup of toxins, that's going to be 2 answers. So it includes all of these, but it includes all the unfavorable conditions, because if you look at the answers, it's going to be excess toxins, lack of oxygen, restricted blood flow, and the last answer is adequate food. These are all unfavorable conditions. Adequate food is a favorable conditions, because remember, favorable conditions include an adequate supply of food. So it's so include all but the favorable condition, which is going to be D, adequate food. So that's also paragraph 5, page 20. I myself have to pay very close attention to questions because they confuse me very easily. I'm not great at reading questions. Okay, so moving on to cell metabolism. Metabolism is a chemical process that takes place in living organisms through which the cells are nourished and carry out their activities. Metabolism occurs in 2 distinctly different phases. Anabolism is called the constructive metabolism because it is the process of combing smaller molecules to build larger and more complex molecules. During this process, the body focuses on storing water, food, and oxygen for a later time when these substances will be needed for cell growth, reproduction, or repair. Catabolism is the phase of metabolism in which larger, more complex molecules are broken down within the cells to create smaller, simpler molecules. As a result of this breakdown, energy is released so that it may be used or stored for later use. Anabolism and catabolism are carried out simultaneously and continually 24 hours a day within the cells as part of their normal processes. Cell metabolism. How is this important? Aging influences the cell's metabolism and the cell begins to function less efficiently. As a nail technician, cell metabolism is something you will consider when working on your client's arm, hands, legs, and feet. A client's response to different services and response to the active ingredients in the skin care products you use will be influenced by the efficiency and speed of their metabolism. Okay, so let's go over to the did you know. A toxin is a poisonous substance produced by microorganisms, bacteria, and viruses. You know that a bee sting injects a toxin into the skin that causes a painful burning sensation. But did you know that your skin is constantly creating toxins? As our skin cells metabolize nutrients, the process creates toxins that must be removed before they cause damage to becoming too concentrated inside the cell. Fortunately, our bodies have highly efficient ways of dealing with these toxins. Tiny blood and lymph capillaries in the skin collect toxins. I hate saying this word. Capillaries into the skin collect toxins and transport them away to be later removed from the body. So remember, the normal flow of blood moving through the skin helps ensure that the concentration of toxins in the skin cells are kept at safe levels, and that the skin remains healthy. Let's see if we have any questions. Okay, yes. Question 5. The process of building up larger molecules from smaller ones is called anabolism. Because, what is anabolism? Anabolism is called constructive metabolism because it is the process of coming smaller molecules to build larger and more complex molecules. Okay, get another page 20, paragraph 6. I'm gonna go back in. I think I'm gonna make another video of just going over the questions. I think that would really help, especially if y'all are short on time. I know a lot of us going to school are also working and it doesn't leave much time for studying. So I think that would really help if I go through each exam review question and show y'all which page, which paragraph, and writing down the question in a separate video. This is good because you're actually hearing the book, what's in the book. But I will do that. Let me know. Comment if y'all want me to do that, if that will help you. Okay, describe the 4 types of tissue in the human body. Tissue is a collection of smaller cells that performs specialized function. Each type of tissue has a specific function and can be recognized by its characteristic appearance. Body tissues are composed of large amounts of water, along with various other substances. The human body is about 60% water. There are 4 types of tissue in the body. So one tissue is connective tissue. Connective tissue is fibrous tissue that binds together, protects, and supports the various parts of the body. Examples include bone, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, fascia, which separates muscle, which separates muscle. Liquid tissue such as blood and lymph, a fat, which is also called adipose tissue. Adipose tissue gives smoothness and contour to the body while protecting internal organs and insulating the body. So that is one connective tissue with adipose tissue. Epithelial tissue is a protective covering on body surfaces, skin, mucous membrane, the tissue inside the mouth, the lining of the heart, digestive and respiratory organs, and glands are examples of epithelial. I gotta look back at these words. I'm so sorry, guys, for y'all trying to learn the pronunciation and I can't even do that. Well, hopefully I'm helping you in some way. Epithelial. Okay. Epithelial. Organs and glands are examples of epithelial tissue. So let's go ahead and read that again. Epithelial tissue is a protective covering on body surfaces. Skin, mucous membranes, the tissue inside the mouth, the lining of the heart, digestive and respiratory organs, and glands are all examples of epithelial tissue. Okay, so muscle tissue. Muscle tissue contracts and moves various parts of the body. Nerve tissue carries messages through the central nervous system to control and coordinate all bodily functions. Nerve tissue is composed of specialized cells known as neurons, which make up the nerves, brain, and spinal cord. So we have a question. We have two questions that we can answer right now. Okay, question number 6. Which type of tissue binds together, protects, and supports the various parts of the body? That would be connective tissue. Connective tissue is fibrous tissue that binds together, protects, and supports the various parts of the body. So that's page 21. 21, paragraph 7. Okay, which type of tissue lines the respiratory organs? We know that one. page. I'm gonna have trouble again. Epithelial tissue is a protective covering on body surfaces. Skin. Okay, so this is asking about the respiratory. Okay, yes. Skin, mucous membranes, the tissue inside the mouth, the lining of the heart, digestive and respiratory organs, and glands are examples of epithelial tissue. There we go, and that's page 22. Okay, next page of questions. Let's read. Which organ supplies oxygen to the blood? We'll look out for that. The blank system purifies the body, eliminating waste matter. The human skeleton eventually has blank bones after some have fused together. Okay, we've read through nerve tissue. Okay, let's go ahead and read this. According to Jeffrey Oots, MD, from the Department of Neuroscience at Milady University, men's bodies contain more water than women's bodies do. Water content differs throughout various tissues in the body. Blood is made up of 83% water and muscle is 75% water. The human brain is 73% water. Even bones are about 31% water. Okay. Define the functions of the body's organs in the body system. In the body systems. An organ is a structure composed of specialized tissue that allow it to perform specific functions. A body system consists of a group of body organs acting together to perform one or more functions. 11 main body systems, their functions and organs. Okay, so the circulatory system. Heart and the organs. So the circulatory system is going to include the organs of the heart with blood vessels, and the function is controls the steady circulation of the blood through the body, works with the lymphatic channels. Digestive system. The organs in that are the esophagus, stomach, gallbladder, liver, small and large intestines. What the function is, breaks down food into smaller and smaller particles to absorb nutrients or for excretion. Endocrine, so the endocrine system, the organs in that are the adrenal gland, pituitary gland, and pancreas. What it does affects the growth, development, sexual activities, and normal regulatory process of the body. Consists of specialized glands. Excretory system. Organs include kidneys and bladder. The function purifies the body by eliminating waste matter. Another word I can't pronounce. Integumentary system. The organs include skin and accessory organs such as oil and sweat glands, sensory receptors, hair, and nails. The function, largest organ of the body, first line of defense against infection and water loss. Regulates temperature, perceives sensation, produces vitamin D, and has absorption capabilities. Lymphatic system / immune system. Organs include the spleen and lymph. The function is protects the body from disease by developing resistance and destroying disease-causing toxins, foreign material, and bacteria. Muscular system. Organs include muscles. Function of it, covers, shapes, and supports the skeletal tissue. Contracts and moves various parts of the body. Nervous system. Organs for that. Brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Function. controls and coordinates all other body systems inside the body and makes them work harmoniously and effectively, carries messages through the central nervous system. Reproductive system, organs include uterus, ovaries, penis, testes. The function of that produces offspring and passes on the genetic code from one generation to another, differentiates between the sexes. Respiratory system, organs, lungs, trachea, bronchi. Enables breathing, supplying the body with oxygen and eliminating carbon dioxide and other gases as waste products. Skeletal system, bones, forms the physical foundation of the body. 206 bones that are connected by movable and immovable joints. Okay, so let's go to our questions. Okay, which organ supplies oxygen to the blood? What does it say? Yeah, oxygen to the blood. Okay, lungs. Enables breathing, supplying the body with oxygen and eliminated carbon dioxide and other gases as waste products. Page 24. I'm gonna put chart. Okay, the blank system purifies the body by eliminating waste matter. That is the excretory system. Okay, yeah, excretory system, that's going to include the kidneys and the bladder, purifies the body by eliminating waste matter. And then the skeletal system, right here, forms the physical foundation of the body, 206 bones that are connected by movable and immovable joints. That's the human skeleton eventually has blank, so 206 bones after some have fused together. Page 24, chart. Okay, I think we're gonna get into bones now. Yes. Let's see how much we have left. We have quite a few pages left. This is probably one of the longer ones. Oh yeah, we have a lot to do today. I hope this helps y'all. I hope y'all can turn this on while being in the car, driving to school, driving to work, at the gym, whatever you have, whenever you have time. Okay, identify the 5 functions of the skeletal system. The skeletal system is the physical foundation of the body. Humans are born with 300 bones. However, some fuse together over time, so eventually the body ends up with 206 bones that vary in size and shape and are connected by movable and immovable joints. Osteology is the study of anatomy, structure, and function of the bones. OS means bones. O's means bones, and it's, yeah, I think that's O's. It's just an O and an S. AHS. O's. Sorry. O's means bones and tissue as a prefix in many medical terms, such as osteoarthritis, a joint disease. Except for the tissue that forms the major part of the teeth, bone is the hardest tissue in the body. It is composed of connective tissue consisting of about 1/3 organic matter, such as cells and blood, and 2/3 minerals, mainly calcium carbonate and calcium phosphate. Skeletal system. How is this important? For a nail technician to be successful, it is important to understand the body's skeletal structure and mechanics. More than half of the bones in your entire body are found in your hands and feet, which are the support system for the entire body. The 5 primary functions of the skeletal system include giving shape and support to the body, protecting various internal structures and organs, serving as attachments for muscles and act as levers to produce body movement, helping produce both white and red blood cells, one of the functions of bone marrow, storing most of the body's calcium supply as well as phosphorus, magnesium, and sodium. A joint is the connection between two or more bones of a skeleton. There are two types of joints: movable, such as elbows, knees, and hips, and immovable, such as the pelvis or skull, which allows little or no movement. Bones of the arms and hands. Important bones of the arms and hands include the following: humerus, the uppermost and largest bone in the arm, extending from the elbow to the shoulder. From the elbow to the shoulder, humerus. Ulna is the longer bone in the forearm. It is larger at the elbow than at the wrist and is located on the little finger side of the hand. Right here, that straight one. Okay, so these are of the arms. Well, there's more. These are all going to go into the arms. These right here are the leg, ankle, and foot. Okay, but this chart shows the bones of the arm and hand. This shows the bones of the hand. Okay, radius, the shorter of the two bones of the forearm. It is the largest at the wrist and located on the thumb side of the hand. Carpus, the wrist, a flexible joint composed of a group of 8 small, irregular bones held together by ligaments. Metacarpus, bones of the palm of the hand, parts of the hand containing 5 bones between the carpus and the phalanges. Phalanges, bones and fingers or toes or digits. Digital phalange, middle phalange, proximal phalange, metacarpal, carpal. So these charts really help out. Bones of the leg, ankle, and foot. The 4 bones of the leg are the femur is a heavy, long bone that forms the leg above the knee. The tibia is the larger of the 2 bones that form the leg below the knee. The tibia may be visualized as a bump on the big toe side of the ankle. The fibula is the smaller of the 2 bones that form the leg below the knee. The fibula may be visualized as a bump on the little toes side of the ankle. Let's see if they have a chart. Yes, they do have a chart right here. Femur, patella, tibia, fibula. The patella, also called the accessory bone, forms the cap of the knee joint. The ankle joint is made up of 3 bones: the tibia, which comes down from the leg, the fibula, which comes down from the leg, the talus, or ankle bone of the foot. The foot is made up of 26 bones. These can be subdivided into 3 general categories: 7 tarsal bones, talus, calcaneus, navicular, 3 cuneiform bones, and the cubloid. Just ignore all of that. read it in your own pronunciation. 5 metatarsal bones, which are long and slender, like the metacarpal. Sorry. I hate when they're broken up. You'll hear this in every chapter I do. When they break up a word into the next paragraph, that's my pet peeve. Metacarpal bones of the hand, and 14 bones called phalanges, which compose the toes. The phalanges of the feet are similar to the hand's phalanges, which are commonly called finger bones. There are 3 phalanges in each toe except for the big toe, which has 2. You know what all of this bone talk has me thinking? It has me thinking of Hannah Montana, the song, the Bone Song. That was a really good episode. Let me know if this makes you think of that too. Okay, and of course here are the charts. Let's go back and see if we can answer any of these questions. Okay, about 1/3 of bone is organic matter. Have we talked about what it's made of? I don't think so. Metacarpus, we've just been talking about which bones. Let's see. I don't think so. No, we've just been talking about bones, so we'll go back to that one. Which of the following is an example of an immovable joint? Yes, we said that right here. I believe it's the skull and the pelvis. Okay, yeah. So knees, I really should have my highlighter. Okay, knees and hips and immovable, such as the pelvis or skull. So the pelvis and skull are immovable, which allows little or no movement. So pelvis is not an answer right here, but one of the answers is skull, so that is the correct answer. It's going to be page 26. I think I don't remember which paragraph it was. If that was paragraph 7, this would be 8. Around paragraph 8. Okay, so I see this question. The blank is the inner and larger bone of the forearm attached at the wrist and located on the side of the little finger, right here. Ulna, the longer bone of the forearm. It is the larger at the elbow and then at the wrist, and is located on the little finger side of the hand. Okay. So that is also page 26, paragraph 8. Or that's paragraph 9. Okay, the phalanges are the bones of the fingers or toes or digits. So fingers and toes. 14, page 27. That's also 9. Okay, how many questions are in this book? This is a longer chapter, 47, and we're on question 15. This is a long one, y'all. The blank, also called the accessory bones, forms the kneecap joint. Patella. The patella, also called the accessory bone, forms the cap of the knee joint. Paragraph 10. Okay, so I think the next set of questions are about muscles, which makes sense. We're going into muscular systems. So let's go ahead and read the questions first so we know what to look out for as we are reading the textbook. How many muscles are there in the human body? Which type of muscle tissue is found in the internal organs of the body, such as the digestive system? Which of the following is not one of the 3 parts of a muscle? Muscular tissue can be stimulated by massage, which is pressure and friction created by hand, electric vibrator, or where is the latimus dorsi located? The blank is the largest muscle that covers the entire back of the upper arm and extends the forearm. Okay. Recognize the voluntary muscles involved in the nail service. The muscular system in the body system that covers, shapes, and supports the skeletal tissue. It contracts and moves various parts of the body. Muscular system, how is this important? The nail technician must be concerned with the voluntary muscles that control movements of the arms, hands, lower legs, and feet. It is important to know where these muscles are located and what they control. These muscles become fatigued from excessive work or injury and can benefit greatly from the massaging techniques you can incorporate it into your services. Proper massage not only helps to relax and de-stress your clients, but can be therapeutic as well. Myology is the study of the structure, function, and disease of the muscles. The human body has over 600 muscles, which are responsible for approximately 40% of the body's weight. Muscles are fibrous tissues that have the ability to stretch and contract according to the demands of the body's movements. There are 3 types of muscular tissue. Striated muscles, also called skeletal muscles, are attached to the bones and are voluntary or consciously controlled. Striated skeletal muscles assist in maintaining the body's posture and protect some internal organs. Non-striated muscles, or smooth muscles, are involuntary and function automatically without conscious will. These muscles are found in the internal organs of the body, such as the digestive or respiratory systems. Okay, so striated, those are like the skeletal muscles. Those are attached to the bones, and that's like if we're lifting something heavy, or we can control the flexion of the muscle. And then the non-striated muscles are like the muscles around the organs that protect. Makes sense. That's really good. Also, such as a digestive or respiratory system, so like lungs, things like that. Oh, and then here's a nice little picture. Which ones were the smooth ones? The non-striated. Yeah, non-striated muscles. Those are, which is funny because those look smoother. Oh, but I see the bumps, the tendons. Okay, interesting. Oh, let's go back to the next question. The first question: how many muscles are in the human body? The human body has over 600 muscles. Wow, well. So the question kind of tricks you because it says the body has over 600 muscles. So one of the questions is, or one of the answers is, oh, well, they don't really trick you because it says more than 600. So be very careful because I just saw the number. I saw 900. And I was like, oh, well, technically it says over 600. It could be 900. The other answers are lower than that. But read very carefully. B, more than 600, and then D is about 900. They word it very specifically in this book, which is what I really like. Let's jot that down. Page 29. I don't even know what paragraph we're on anymore. Paragraph, let's see, where's the patella? 10, 11. Paragraph 11. Okay, which type of muscle tissue is found in the internal organs of the body, such as the digestive system? Remember, we just read that. These are the muscles, these are found in the internal organs of the body, such as the digestive or respiratory system. That's going to be non-striated right there. Let's see. Okay. Cardiac muscle is the involuntary muscle that is the heart. This type of muscle is not found in any other part of the body. A muscle has 3 parts. The origin is the part that does not move. It is attached to the skeleton and is usually part of a skeletal muscle. The insertion is the point of attachment in a muscle where more movement occurs. The belly is the middle part of the muscle. Pressure in massage is usually directed from the insertion to the organ and moving toward the belly of the muscle. Okay, so the muscle has 3 parts: the origin, the insertion, and the belly. Question 18 says, which of the following is not one of the 3 parts of the muscle? So we can look at what is the 3 parts: origin, insertion, and belly, which are all answer choices. So we're going to pick the odd one out, A, nucleus. Page 30, paragraph 11. Okay. So I see this next question coming up. Muscular tissue can be stimulated by massage, which is pressure and friction created by hand, electric vibrator, or, so let's look out for that. Muscular tissue can be stimulated by massage, pressure and friction created by hand, electric vibrator, or water jets. Okay, there's our answer, water jets. Okay, let's read the rest, and then I'll read the question that is coming up in the next paragraph. Okay, electrical current, high frequency or faradic, alternating or interpreted current. Infrared light, heating lamps and normal component of natural sunlight. Dry heat, heating caps. Moist heat, steamers or warm steam towels. Nerve impulses through the neurons of the nervous system. Muscles that attach the arms to the body. The muscles that attach the arms to the body are briefly summarized below. Latimus dorsi, a large flat triangular muscle covering the lower back. Pectoralis major and pectoralis minor, muscles of the chest that assist the swinging movements of the arm. Serratus anterior, muscle of the chest that assists in breathing and in raising the arm. Trapezus, muscle that covers the back of the neck and upper and middle region of the back, rotates and controls swinging movements of the arm. Okay, where is the latimus dorsi located? A large flat triangular muscle covering the lower back. Answer, lower back. Page 30, paragraph 11. Okay, muscle, oh, that's not 11, that's 12. Paragraph 12. Okay. Muscles of the shoulder and arm. There are 3 principal muscles of the shoulders and upper arms. Bicep, muscle producing the contour of the front and inner side of the upper arm. They lift the forearm and flex the elbow. Deltoid, large triangular muscle covering the shoulder joint that allows the arm to extend outward and to the side of the body. Tricep, large muscle that covers the entire back of the upper arm and extends the forearm. The forearm is made up of a series of muscles and strong tendons. As a nail technician, you will be concerned with extensors. I get confused when I think I can't pronounce, and then I go into here when really I could pronounce it all along. Extensors, muscles that straighten the wrist, hand, and fingers to form a straight line. Flexors, extensor muscles of the wrist are involved in bending the wrist. Pronators, muscles that turn the hand inward so that the palm faces downward. Supinator, muscle of the forearm that rotates the radius, forearm, outward and the palm upward. Okay, question. The blank is a large muscle that covers the entire back of the upper arm and extends the forearm. A large muscle that covers the entire back of the upper arm and extends the forearm. That is the tricep. Page 31. What are we? What is that? A lower back. That's paragraph 12. That's paragraph 13. Almost there. Okay, let's go ahead and read about 3 questions. The blank are the muscles that separate the fingers. What is the most complex organ of the endocrine system? The blank moves the lesser toes and helps maintain balance while walking. Okay, muscles of the hand. The hand is one of the most complex parts of the body, with many small muscles that overlap from joint to joint, providing flexibility and strength to open and close the hand and fingers. Abductors, muscles that separate the fingers. Okay, that was our question 22. The blank are the muscles that separate the fingers. The abductors. Don't get that confused with adductors. Abductors. Okay, that's page 31. Where are we on? 14? 14. Okay, so the adductors, muscles at the base of each finger that draw the fingers together. I didn't think that was a question. Okay. Okay, muscles of the lower leg and foot. As a nail technician, you will use your knowledge of muscles of the foot and the leg during pedicure. The muscles of the foot are small and provide proper support and cushioning for the foot and leg. The muscles of the lower leg include the extender digitorum longus. That's funny. Extensor digitorum longus. Bends the foot up and extends the toes. The tibialis anterior covers the front of the shin. It bends the foot upward and inward. The peroneus longus covers the outer side of the calf and inverts the foot and turns it outward. The peroneus brevis originates on the lower surface of the fibula. It bends the foot down and out. The gastrocnemius is attached to the lower rear surface of the heel and pulls the foot down. The soleus originates at the upper portion of the fibula and bends the foot down. The muscles of the feet include the flexor digiti minimi, moves the little toe. The flexor digitorum brevis moves lesser toes and helps maintain balance while walking. The abductor hallucis moves the great toe and helps maintain balance while walking and standing. The abductor digiti minimi separates the toes. Okay, so this question is going back to the endocrine system, so we're gonna wait till we get to the end of the chapter and we can answer that one when we go back to the beginning of the chapter. So the next one is the blank moves the lesser toes and helps maintain balance while walking. So remember, there's the greater toes and the lesser toes, or the greater toe, the big toe. So don't let that get it confused, so let's look for the answer. Flexor digitorum mini. Okay, yeah, the flexor digitorum mini moves the little toe. But the question is, moves the lesser toes and help maintain balance while walking. Okay, so it's the flexor digitorum brevis. I might have that one wrong in my book. Okay, yeah. So that's good for correcting this. The flexor digitorum brevis moves lesser toes and helps maintain balance while walking. Okay, I'm glad I caught that. Let's see, page 33. Paragraph 15. Okay. Okay, that's going back to the nervous system. I don't see any more with the legs, lower leg and foot. I'm seeing some random questions in. Like I said, we'll go back to the beginning. We'll go back to find those. But right now I want to stay keeping in order. Name the parts of the nervous system. The nervous system is an exceptionally well-organized body system, composed of the brain, spinal cord, and nerves that is responsible for controlling and coordinating all other systems inside and outside of the body and making them work harmoniously and effectively. Every square inch of the human body is supplied with fine fibers known as nerves. There are over 100 billion nerve cells, known as neurons, in the body. The scientific study of the structure, function, and pathology of the nervous system is known as neurology. Nervous system. How is this important? Understanding the function of nerves will help you perform massage treatments by being mindful of your touch, of pressure, and of pain receptors located in the hands, arms, legs, and feet. An understanding of how nerves work will help you perform services in a more proficient manner when administrating massage techniques during manicures and pedicures. It will also help you understand the effects that these treatments have on the body as a whole. Oh, okay. Look. So we have a question we can answer. The scientific study of the structure, function, and pathology of the nervous system is known as... Okay, the specific study of structure, function, and pathology of the nervous system is known as neurology. So many paragraphs. Okay, let's do a little check and see how much longer we got. I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my goodness, we have so long. I might have to break this down into 2 parts. Oh my goodness. That is a